All right, everybody, we're here talking with Neal Adams.
Oh, now we're talking with Neal.
We're talking with Neal Adams. We didn't pay him enough. Well, we're just gonna, yeah, I was gonna say. But brilliant artist.
Okay.
And
so you decided to come over here and be boring, right?
oh, well, I could be less boring.
Do an interview with Neal Adams, and we're going to be boring. I don't think that's the way you start. You got to come up with a hook. You have to have a hook. Okay, so let's have the hook. We're going to do a hook. Hook is, what is the most recent project you're working on? That's a good hook. Okay.
All right, take two. We're talking here with Neal Adams. Let's ask him, what is his latest project? Here we go right now.
That wasn't very good because you just repeated what I said.
That's true.
So you have to say, you have to like put it together and say, I know that you just finished Batman Odyssey, a very controversial Batman series, and I've heard that you're working with Marvel on another project that will blow people out of the water. Can you tell us something about that? See, he can't repeat all that, so I'm just going to answer. Okay. This is called First X-Men. First X-Men implies that the X-Men we now see are the second X-Men. So you got Professor X, bald, in a wheelchair with his superheroes. Apparently, before that, there was another X-Men. Now, those X-Men had to have a leader. So you're going to have to play a game with me. The game is, who is older than Professor X? Da 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 da. We can't let this go too long because we're just going to wait. Wolverine, how much old? I don't know, 125, maybe 200 years old.
He doesn't remember.
No, because you don't remember either. We don't know how old he is. So, oh, and he doesn't remember. That's good. There's a reason he doesn't remember. Somebody took his memory away. Maybe we're going to find out in these 5 issues who took his memory away. Anyway, so you got Wolverine, and he's going to protect these mutants. But Wolverine is a warrior, a mercenary. So he's going to teach these guys to defend themselves. They're going to get into trouble, defend themselves, and bad stuff is going to happen. So he has to go to Charles Xavier and try to get his help. But unfortunately, Charles Xavier is 19 years old. He's in college. He doesn't even admit that he's a mutant. And he wants nothing to do with this werewolf-looking jerk. So he kicks him out. And that's where our story starts. Oh, Moon Knight. Moon Knight, I don't know if you guys saw it, but what's his name? They were trying to do a Batman over at DC Marvel. And I guess because Sienkiewicz drew like me, they had Sienkiewicz drew Moon Knight. Sort of like Dark Knight.
Right.
And so he did Moon Knight. And of course he did it in sort of my style, which was kind of cool. I thought that was very cool. But anyway, Sienkiewicz did a thing in a fanzine. I can't tell you what the fanzine was, but there was a fanzine. Sienkiewicz did a shot of Moon Knight, and he had Moon Knight like putting aside Batman, like he was the next big dark superhero. Yeah. On the other hand, his costume is white with blacks on it, so I don't quite get that. And so the fan magazine came out with the cover on it and was like, oh, really? Are we going to do that? So I did another cover that went on the next issue of Batman kind of with his back to us, firing a batarang and tripping Moon Knight and having Moon Knight falling on his ass.
Sorry. If you have a favorite character to draw, who would it be? Or who do you enjoy drawing? Probably.
You're gonna love this. Okay. I don't have a favorite character. They're all the same to me. As far as I'm concerned, whatever one I'm drawing at this time is my favorite character. That's a boring answer. You have to admit, of the answers that I could have come up with, probably the most boring. So, because I know that, I've made up a lie. So that would satisfy the fans abounding. Now, the lie is much, much better than the truth. But I have to say, if you ask me to tell you the lie, you have to know that it is a lie. My favorite character to draw is Batman, because it's like drawing two characters, Batman and his cape. Isn't that a great answer?
So we were wondering, as an artist, is there any kind of thing you collect just for a hobby or?
Are there artists here?
Yeah, we consider you an artist.
Oh, okay, all right.
In fact, you're
Money?
Money.
I collect money.
that's a good one.
Money's good. I like to collect money.
He doesn't.
Children and grandchildren. I collect children and grandchildren. All mine, so it doesn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, that's no good.
Teetering there.
What else? Let me see. What else do I collect? I never collect comic books, and I hate Neal Adams stuff. So I can't. I don't really collect things. No, I don't. That's boring, isn't it? I wish I could think of something that I collect that would be less boring than that, but I can't. I don't really.
That's a fair answer.
Bench press machines. I have like 15 bench press machines. I collect those. They fill the apartment. We have to walk in between the bench press machines. I invite people over for a bench press party.
Is that a collection that gets started by you're going to get in shape this year? You go out and buy a brand new, state of the art.
And everybody comes over and uses them. Now, Josh is my son's name. And Josh is the guy who just got an assignment to do a 15-page Doctor Who book. He is also doing an internet comic book that I've forgotten the name of. 3 pages a week, and he did a Doctor Who, and now he's doing another Doctor Who. So he is becoming our family's Doctor Who expert. My son Jason does sculptures, and my son Joel does licensed characters called Lils. And they do, and I'll tell you where they sell them. It's really great. Women in the Midwest buy the license to do female characters so they can put them on their letters and on mailings and on various things that they do. And so they license them. It's like a new business where you have various artists who draw sexy girls or semi-sexy girls, and they'll do packets of like 10 or 12, and they sell them on the internet, and you'd think, well, who are they going to sell them to? Young guys, right? No, women in the Midwest. They want to put it on their stuff, mailings and things like that. It's a very cool business. It's a new business, and it's come out of nowhere. Just like, what's happening that's really new? I'm talking seriously now, but and I don't mean it, so don't listen to me. What's interesting is that this city has a warehouse store called Mile High Comics, right? Mile High. You guys probably didn't go there yesterday, which you should have.
We were actually going to.
You didn't go. You didn't go. Shame, 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 shame. Ha ha ha. I went. You didn't. The place is a warehouse, but it's set up like a store. So you have a gigantic store. What is that good for? Well, one of the things it's good for is you get to get anything that you want to get because it's so big. You can buy local artist stuff, whereas you can't get it in a regular store because they can only afford to buy Marvel and DC and a handful of other things. Well, imagine what's going to happen 1 or 2 years in the future. Every big city in the United States is going to have a warehouse store of comics and comic book related stuff. And all these young artists who are doing these, 1,500 copy comic books or 800 copy comic books are going to be able to sell into these warehouses. Maybe not a lot of copies, but it's going to broaden out into the country. I know a guy who's planning on doing it in New York. So you're going to have not just stores, comic book stores, you're going to have warehouse stores of comic book and comic book related stuff. And all you have to do is look around here and look at the little booths to see how many people are doing comic books that you've never seen before, but you might like to see them. It's very cool. It's a very new thing. I mean, people actually talk to me about what's new, what's coming, and they don't have the sense to listen to me when I'm telling them. So this time, or of one of the times, I'm telling you, this is part of the wave of the future in the comic book business. Not only are we taking over movies and television and computer games, we are actually making comic books available to Grandma and Uncle Ben and Cousin Charlie, who never read comic books before. Very important.
So, one other question, Neal. You mentioned that your son does an online comic. How do you feel about the new digital formats, and that instead of going to a local comic book store and buying one of your books, somebody's probably downloading a digital version?
It's great. Look at the thing to remember is you don't ask somebody how they feel about the future unless they're some cranky old man. I'm not a cranky old man. The future is inevitable. The past is just as inevitable, but we already know it. What we don't know is the future. So what do I think about the unknown future? Hey, let's go.
I hope I'm there to see it.
Exactly, exactly. There's so much going on in our business that it's incredible. There's young guys going around doing videos and trying to get them on the internet in all these various different ways. And they're everywhere. This is not, you know what's going to happen by the end of this convention? There's going to be 15 guys with camera and mic setups, and they're going to get them on the internet. Last night I went on, you go to my name, and sure enough, all the stuff I have on, whether it's the comic books or the science stuff or whatever, there's a video interview that some guy did at the last convention I was at. And there it is, all edited and looking nice. So we're taking over everything. It's amazing. We better stay interesting.
It helps with that collecting money habit.
Yeah, there you go. And children and grandchildren.
And children and grandchildren.
At the time we couldn't do that. Couldn't afford them.